Hi everyone, welcome. I am going to be making a quick recipe for us today. And now this video is going to be two-part because we're going to be making the crust in the one video. And this crust is a basic kind of crust. We're going to be making a coconut oil pie crust. Now this pie can be used for a savory dish or a sweet dish. So I don't want to dictate what I think you should do with it. I actually have recipes for both versions. So on this first video, we're going to just be making the dough together. And then on the second video, I'm going to be doing the chicken pot pie with it. And I love making these recipes. These recipes sound really indulgent and unhealthy, but we're going to be making it in a really healthy way and a really simple way. It's going to take no time at all. And we're not using a lot of ingredients at all also. So we're going to get ready to make the crust. For this crust, you're going to need, so what I did is I cut my recipe in half. These recipes are from my Insider's Meal Plan, which I am sharing with a lot of you this month for the next couple months because I know we're all kind of really struggling trying to get meals on the table, healthy meals on the table, getting creative with our meals. I know a lot of us are feeling stuck and stagnant with what to put on the table with limited access to the grocery stores and with restaurants closed. So I'm sharing a lot of these recipes with you. And now the traditional recipe here it calls for 2 cups of flour. I'm using whole wheat flour today. You can use any kind of flour you like. Salt and cold water and coconut oil. Now I'm going to cut this recipe in half, so I'm only going to be using 1 cup of whole wheat flour and a half a teaspoon of salt, 5 to 6 tablespoons of water, and 1/3 cup of coconut oil. So anyway, if you want the recipe, just leave me a comment below and I'll get it over to you. I'll send you a message. And yeah, and then that's really it. It's really, really surprisingly easy. This is very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it. You can make little pies in like a little muffin tray. You can do a big pie in a traditional pie size container and a pie size baking dish, and yeah, and you can do a lot of fun things with this. So although we're home, a lot of us have these ingredients. A lot of us have flour in the pantry, coconut oil, water, salt, and then you can just throw this together. So I want to share this with you. So we're just going to start off with a bowl, any mixing bowl. And again, I'm going to use my whole wheat flour. You can use any kind of flour you like. It works fine with white flour, but I like it to be more nutrient dense, so that's why I'm using my whole wheat flour. You can use coconut flour. You can use almond flour, anything you like. Obviously, the texture is going to be slightly different depending on what kind of flour you use, but it all kind of works. So anyway, you just want to make sure that you get a flat, because when you're baking, you kind of want it to be more precise. So I know for us, cooks out there, for me, I'm just like throwing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm not too particular about the measurements, but when you're baking, you kind of have to be. All right, and then we need a half a teaspoon of salt. So you want to mix the half a teaspoon of salt in with the flour while it's dry so that I can just mix it on together. And so far, so easy. We're going to be taking, I actually made this recipe the other day, and I made sure, because this was my last jar of coconut oil, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough, and so I measured it out, and it measured out almost perfectly. So I have about just 1/3 cup of the rest of the coconut oil left. That's why I cut my recipe in half today. So anyway, just 1/3 cup, and look, I'll show you how precise I was. So 1/3 cup. You want to use it in its solid form. So you want to make sure that you don't really touch it too much with your hands because it melts fairly easily. So look at this. Check it out. Now my dog is she'll lick this container. Coconut oil is great for animals, and I'll just usually let her lick the container. I'm surprised she's not up here yet because she hears a container. Anything with like peanut butter or coconut oil, she's right up here. All right, so look, check it out. 1/3 cup of coconut oil. And we are going to take this, divide it up into little chunks with our hands. Make sure you have clean hands, especially these days, right? Okay, so just plop it on in. Just going to take it and plop it in, just like little bits. Take it, plop it in. And this is a fun thing. You can get the kids involved. get their hands nice and messy. And baking is great right now because you have the time, you want an activity, you want something to do, pick up a new hobby while we're home. And in my cooking classes for kids, we're doing this as a homeschooling lesson. There's, you know, measuring and math and science and all these other really great activities included in a recipe. And then at the end of it, you have a nice healthy treat to eat. So you're going to mix that all together. And this coconut oil is great too. Rub it in your hands. It's a great moisturizer. So there's like little blobs of the coconut oil in here. And you're going to take a fork, or let me just get a fork. So you're going to take the back of the fork and you're going to essentially just mash the coconut oil into the flour here. And you're going to mash it together until there is little crumbles as possible. Obviously, there's still going to be crumbles because you're not blending this together. You're not putting it in a food processor. You're just kind of mashing it together. We just want to divide up that coconut oil as best as we can. So it's going to look something like this. I'm going to try to show you. See how there's just like little crumbles there. All right, now, after you do that, we have the coconut oil, we have the flour, we have the salt in here. Next, you want to take a tablespoon at a time of your water. So just start, even if you start with a teaspoon, remember there's 3 teaspoons, so 1 tablespoon. So you can start off with, so this is a teaspoon, so I'm going to do 3 of my teaspoons for 1 of my tablespoons. Mix it in slowly. I'm going to use my fork so that it can get into those pieces a little bit easier. And mix it in 1 tablespoon at a time. Remember, we're using 5 to 6 tablespoons in this recipe. So go slow. You might stop at 5. You might, your dough, if you're using a different kind of dough, you might need a little bit more. You might need a little bit less. It all really depends. All right, we're going to add in 1 more tablespoon. 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. Mix that up. So now we're at 2 tablespoons. Usually this takes me around 5 to 6 tablespoons, like exactly. But you're just mixing it up until you see it to form into a dough form. Like you want to see it so that it's almost ready to pick up. Just a good mix. And I love this. I'm telling you guys, make sure you tune into the next video because the chicken pot pie recipe that I make with this is so easy. We're literally using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients in it, and it really feels indulgent because I don't know. So that was 3. This is going to be the 4th tablespoon. I don't know about you, but I love chicken pot pie, and you know, we can't help but feel a little bit guilty if we overdo it a little bit on that stuff. And it's Friday, we're kind of enjoying ourselves. Some of you may be ordering pizza. Some of you, you know, you kind of just want to indulge a little bit. So this is a great way to feel kind of indulgent without actually having to, you know, without eating anything unhealthy. All right, so actually this looks pretty good. This is why you want to be careful and add it in slowly. So pretty much, see how it's all cleaned out? You just can press it down to grab all the little pieces. You're going to want to put some flour down onto your countertop. Can you guys see my counter? Okay. So you're going to put some flour down onto your countertop, even it out, and then you're just going to plop this on down. Roll those sleeves up because this gets messy. All right, and so you're just gonna roll it out. And again, you can, if it feels too sticky, just give it a little bit extra. And you can use this for so many different things. And if you want to make it into a smaller, you can cut this out into any shape that you want. I just have a rolling pin here. If you don't have a rolling pin, use whatever you have. Before I got this rolling pin, I was literally using cans. I would roll cans across the top of this to make sure that it would flatten out. This is another fun part that kids can partake in. So if you were putting this into a regular size pie pan, what you can do is you can do it in one of two ways. You can cut this in half and you can cut it in half, you can roll it up in another ball, and then you can roll it up into two individual circles that way. Or you can take your pie pan, put it along this, and then cut around the edges so that you can measure it out to the size of the pan, and then put that circle in, roll it out again, and try to do the same process again. So yeah, this is very easy, very pliable. You can do lots of different things with it. So here we have, you can get creative. You can use cookie cutters. You can cut it up in any different kind of shape that you want, but I'm just gonna slice it down the middle and just show you how simple it is to just re-roll back up into, you can do another circle. And yeah, so anyway, that is the first part of this recipe. In the next video, I'm going to be making the insides. I'm going to be making the center, the good part of the chicken pot pie. So don't miss out on that video. All right, guys, see you later.